Welcome back to A Little Bit of Cheese, your bite-sized Wisconsin sports podcast. I'm your host, Cody Depius. That is Sam Douglas. We are back Monday, December 22nd, 2025. Christmas coming up in a couple days. Sam, how are you?
Doing all right. Had a really fun weekend. Went up to see an Excision show up in Minneapolis. Did VIP. So shout out to the Carlos and Jorge, all the 333 boys. Had an awesome Saturday night. Unfortunately, missed the Packer game. Wasn't able to watch it. I was hanging out with the music people that might not know how many goals a touchdown's worth. Might not have heard of Jordan Love, but that's all right. I was having a great time. Sounds like I did watch a chunk of the game yesterday. Cody, I didn't I didn't watch the Packers Seahawks NFC Championship game either. I thought that was a shoo-in. I watched the first half and I was working at Quiznos. I was keeping an eye on my phone. I was trying to pull out a stream if I could. So it sounds like I missed two onside kicks that in live time were I made a good choice in not watching those moments.
See, and Sam, we all talk about the onside kicks, and that's what everybody discusses. But in both of those games, it was similar to the point where about 20 things had to go exactly the way that they did in about a 4-minute game span for there to even be an opportunity to go to overtime, and every single one of those hit. and that's what happened. It was I said it. Everything has to go wrong for Green Bay to lose this game. And every single possible thing that could have gone wrong went wrong. It all started with the Packers inside the 5, and I looked to my little cousin. We were at a Christmas party, and I said, "Hey, you ready to see a Josh Jacobs touchdown?" Then Josh Jacobs put the ball on the ground, and Chicago got it back. So I can take some blame for it as well. It's not just you out at your Excision show. It's me trying to get my little cousin hyped up. But, I mean, there's so many things to cover in this game. Let's just start at the top. The first 58 minutes were crazy. Jordan Love got hurt on, I believe, Green Bay's third offensive drive. It was pretty early into the ball game. A helmet-to-helmet collision. The Bears' defensive lineman, I can't even name him. I don't know if I want to name him. He shouldn't be named. But led with the crown of his helmet. Jordan did lower his head for the impact, and crown to crown was knocked out. Concussion protocol. And at that point, I was like, I have no reason to watch the rest of this game. But once again, Malik Willis has shown that he's probably going to get a lot of money on the free agency market, and he might get an opportunity to start somewhere next year, and he deserves it. He played a really good ball game and gave Green Bay the opportunity to win. And actually, they should have won with the way that he played. He outplayed Caleb Williams for most of that game, and people aren't talking about that today. But I do want to ask, so how much of the game have you seen, have you went back to see? Did you just see any highlights?
Yeah, probably 15, 20-minute highlight reel. So probably a chunk of the important plays. Didn't watch it full. The numbers on Malik was awesome, though. He was balling. He looked comfortable as well. 9 for 11. Good completion percentage, 121 yards, touchdown, 10 runs for 44 yards. I love a running quarterback, and I think that's a great spot for a backup quarterback. Obviously you want to keep Jordan Love safe, but if your backup is in there, use those legs, which unfortunately it sounds like his shoulders is kind of bumming him out. We'll see what happens with that come Saturday night. But no, I watched a good chunk of the highlights. Didn't watch, all 22 all the way came through.
What did you think of the hit on Love? Because I mean, do you have any opinions on that?
Nothing too strong. I think everybody's moving fast. It's hard. It didn't look super malicious. Maybe intent, yeah, but malicious, no. It's hard to say.
If it was college, that's targeting. He's ejected.
Yeah,
I'll say that. The NFL's a little bit different, but it was targeting by rule of college football. I mean, he led with the crown of his helmet and was going high. That you cannot do, especially on a quarterback. Yes, Jordan did lower his head and go into it. He did not help his case at all, but even if he had kept his head up, then his chin gets blown up by the crown of his helmet at full speed. Like, it's the way that you tackle, but even how you tackle a quarterback now. I mean, you watched a roughing the passer last night on Tyler Huntley where he didn't even hit the ground. So it's it's
And
ticky tacky, but
it's one of those things that it's questionable because it's so early in the game. Maybe they come out saying, "Hey, let's rough them up. Let's if you can hit them high in the first few drives, we don't want to ruin anything in the fourth quarter. But if you can knock the guy around a little bit, give him a tough shakeup in the first quarter, go for it."
right. And the fact that you're saying that kind of is where my mind goes with it. Like they're they're not trying to bring Jordan down in a soft fashion. They're trying to hit him hard, which that's the way that football has always been played. It has been murder the guy with the ball. And that is what he did. He knocked him out cold. Jordan was dead and he was not moving for a little bit there on the ground. And I'll say a little dirty, but not like me standing up. I mean, I think I did say he should be ejected, but of course that was in the moment. You watch it in slow-mo, it looks a lot worse than it did in real time. I mean, in real time, I was like, that's roughing the passer, absolutely. And then you see the slow-mo, and you're like, oh, he led with the crown of his helmet. That's disgusting. Like, you can't do that. And that's my bottom line with it. The way that he tackled, he can't do that. But it wasn't like picking a guy up and suplexing him. It just wasn't the way that you should do that. And I think that there was a little bit of intent to maybe ring a bell. And I'll just say that. And I'll say Keyshawn Nixon had some dirty ball too.
Yeah,
like he went
quarterback play. All things considered, the quarterback play, Jordan Love being knocked out did not lose us the game at all. Like you said, Malik played an awesome game. The quarterback issue, just like when Mike went out, Jordan Love did have a big hand in us losing the game. Him going out didn't change his game. There's a lot of things going on. And Keyshawn Nixon, like you said, is not cornerback one. Jeff Hafley is incredibly handicapped by his personnel. I think very highly. Mm-hmm. Cody, I got a hot take for you. I don't mind if Jeff Hafley's a head coach somewhere next year. I mean, love that to be Green Bay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is not a fire Matt LaFleur game. This is a give Matt LaFleur his flowers game.
That's fair. I meant to give credit to Hafley and just note that he's being handicapped by the personnel that he's dealing with.
Yes,
that's all.
Personally, I mean, selfishly want both of them in the situation that they are. I think Green Bay's in a great situation coaching wise, except for Rich Bisaccia, which that's a whole nother. We have the discussion too much. I'm not even going to touch on it. But Hafley at D coordinator and Matt LaFleur at head coach, you give yourself an opportunity to, regardless of how poor your roster looks. And Sam, is my camera off on you?
Yeah, you're frozen.
I'm frozen. Okay.
And sorry, you're making a funny face in it too. That's
yeah, it looks really good. Okay. We'll switch cameras then. But yeah, Matt LaFleur had. And I wanted to say this, too. My dad actually brought it up during the game. Why does Matt LaFleur's creativity ooze in a game that Jordan Love is out, but when Jordan is in, you don't have motions, you don't have hand fakes, you don't have the play action like you do, you don't have him running out of the pocket using his athleticism. Does Jordan Love, why does he handicap Matt LaFleur in his play calling?
It can't be a confidence thing, right? Is it a confidence thing? Does Matt LaFleur is it too protective? Is it protection over his own job rather than Jordan Love's job? I mean, I think there was 7 different ball carriers for guys that rushed the ball. We had like 7 different guys. Reed touched it, Golden ran it, Savion, of course, and both quarterbacks had some rush. Like on top of Emmanuel Wilson getting 12 carries, Jacobs 12. A lot of guys are running the ball, and you're spot on. It's creative, and it looks like good offense. And were they doing that the first 3 drives with Jordan Love, or was that just the game plan for Chicago to get a little bit smarter with it, or just when he went out, it just starts getting a little bit more creative? It's like, oh yeah, there's the coaching. It's like, oh, this is my time to be a good coach. I don't think Jordan Love is good enough to just put the ball in his hands yet and say, here's a full game plan. We can run a pretty simple offense with you. Mike McCarthy was not an offensive genius. I had a lot of issues with the way Mike McCarthy would call an offense. But Rodgers bailed him out because a lot of the offense was, we're just going to chalk. We're going to let Rodgers run through. He was good enough to do that. If Matt LaFleur has these schemes which we saw when he first took over. We're like, wow, we have an offense that actually has some flow and some creativity and some juice to it. We know it's there. Would love to see that get squeezed a little bit with proper personnel. That's how we turn into that 14-3 team, that ceiling that we know that we can have.
Yeah. I think a lot of it is just protecting Love, and not in the sense of like thinking that he can't do these things, but like physically protecting him and keeping him inside the pocket as much as possible. I think that's what it is. And I know that you have been a guy that has come on here a lot of times and said, I want to see him use his legs a little bit more. And I think he can. Jordan is very athletic. Jordan can move. And with Malik Willis, they don't need to be as careful. Although you might not see Malik Willis play, and I'll talk about that in a second here. But I think that's a big reason for it. All the people out there, like, there are legitimate people where I read their comments and they say Malik Willis shouldn't be starting over Jordan Love. Like, I just stop watching the game if that's how you feel. But Malik Willis is a very serviceable, good backup quarterback that gives you an opportunity to win. And like I said, he played good enough for this team to win. Yeah, the play on fourth down looked a little goofy. Christian Watson was supposed to have a chip block there that he completely missed on, and Willis didn't have a lane to go. And on that botched snap, who do you blame? You blame both the guys involved there. So it's the mistakes from Willis were very minimal. He played great. Chicago was not ready for him. I was having such a great time watching this game up until about 3 minutes left to go. Like, I was pumped up the whole time saying, oh, this is such a good win. Like, I love this. I was saying that over and over again. Like, this feels so good, so right just to stomp them like this. And I was saying, I can't wait to tune into Chicago radio tomorrow morning just to listen to what the talking heads were going to say there. But everything flips on its head, and it's, yeah, you can't place the blame on one spot. And it's a lot of guys that deserve it. And it was a team failure. And Caleb played good for 2 drives at the end of it there. Does he deserve a new nickname? Absolutely not. But
I know it might be beating the dead horse, but why can't Bisaccia be fired today? I mean, the punt return, the onside kick, it's been nonstop. Is there no accountability? Like, there has to be some accountability somewhere, and Bisaccia has not been good at his job for years now. It's frustrating to keep talking about it, but
yeah,
what's going on? Why does he still have a job? I know you're in the same boat with me, but there's no accountability on that. Yeah, there's dirty hands everywhere, but the dirtiest is your special teams not getting any sort of consistency or executing. It's just that's what happens when you're a person in leadership. If the people under you, are up to no good and not performing well, whoever's in charge of them gets canned. That's how it goes when there's a scandal going on at a college. The athletic director sometimes leaves his job because it was happening under his watch. This Bisaccia thing, there's just got to be freaking accountability on it, Cody. Guys got to get fired.
And that right there is your biggest indictment on Matt LaFleur's entire career as the head coach of the Green Bay Packers. The loyalty is there for LaFleur to a point where it actually hurts him. You saw it with Joe Barry. You saw Mike Pettin ride out his entire contract as well. Mo Drayton was there for an entire season, and then that was embarrassing. And Rich Bisaccia now, like you said, we've been talking about this for years. Joe Barry overstayed his term for about 2 years as well. And you're dealing with a very similar thing, and this ends up falling on LaFleur just for the fact that these guys are still involved when they have one job to do, and they cannot handle it. And especially in Bisaccia's case, where he is the quote-unquote assistant head coach, what does that role look like? You hired him to be a special teams coordinator to fix the special teams that has been hurting this team for 25 years, and they are still in the bottom third in the NFL in every category that you could possibly look at for special teams. And you have lost multiple games year after year after year solely because of special teams play. So like you said, we're beating a dead horse. It's week after week. We have said this almost every week. ever since this podcast began. But Rich Bisaccia has not done his job. He should have been fired. I don't know when he's going to be fired. He's probably going to have the rest of this year. And hell, he might even have next year too. And there's nothing that you and I can say about it. It's frustrating. It sucks. It's just a curse that Green Bay special teams is going to continue to be a falter for the rest of our lives. We just
Have the
know it.
Packers, have they ever fired a coach? I can't remember mid-season.
Mike McCarthy. Joe Philbin stepped in at the end of that year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Was that Hundley's year? No.
Yeah, that was a bad year. That was 2018, I believe. Like it was, I think they had 6 wins that year. Like it needed to happen. Rodgers played the whole season. And there were discussions like, oh, is Rodgers washed up? And that was 2018. That was 7 years ago. And we were talking about is Rodgers washed up, and now he's 42 and
how about
slinging it, baby. Thank you, Aaron. Still winning for Green Bay. So yeah, just there's your answer on that. They can fire people. It's just Matt LaFleur. No, Matt LaFleur cannot fire people. That is what we're learning year after year, week after week here with this. I'm also frustrated that there was even a play ran at the beginning of regulation, and that's actually the play that Malik Willis got hurt. And I'm not hearing anybody talk about that either. You were backed up on your 25 with 24 seconds left to go with your backup quarterback. That's not going to air it out down the field. If you have Aaron Rodgers or even Jordan Love, I could see running a play where you try to fire it over the middle. But Malik Willis is just not the kind of quarterback that you do that with. They ran a play, and the last quarterback that you have gets banged up on it, and now you have 2 guys that are probably not practicing today or tomorrow, and you have to play another game on Saturday. So that's that one I'll put on the floor. People haven't talked about that one. But yeah. Any other gripes from you on this Packer game specifics? I know Romeo Doubs missed it. Romeo, it's like a ground ball, man. You can't wait back on the hop. You got to go get the ball. You got to fall on it or just knock it out of bounds. And nobody does that, and I don't understand why. Like, why don't you just whack the ball out of bounds? You get the ball then.
Yeah, I do have one more Packers take, and I thought about it after last week, after we hung up for a couple minutes, and I want to roll back one thing I said. You asked if we can still make a run at the Super Bowl, Cody, and it's a no. It's just a no, dude. We don't have the personnel. I don't think I've been an optimist, and I don't think you've ever seen me say, yeah, this Wisconsin sports team can't make a run. I'm still high on the Bucks. You're gonna still hear me give hopes on the Bucks in a couple minutes here, even though we're a game and a half ahead of the Charlotte freaking Hornets. I still believe in the Bucks. I don't. Keyshawn Nixon and Carrington Valentine, they're getting cooked out here. What do you think Puka and Devontae are going to do to those guys? It is going to be a massacre, Cody. Like, a good team is going to put up 40 on us in their sleep. It's not going to be. I don't have a reason to think that we can make a playoff run against the Seahawks or the Rams.
Sam, I'm going to reel you back for a second. You're saying this because you didn't watch this Bears game. You're saying this because you think that over the course of that game, you would have been frustrated at whatever was happening with Green Bay. Green Bay looked like a complete team, as banged up as they were, for 58 minutes against Chicago in Chicago with a healthy Caleb Williams.
I don't think Chicago's that good, and I don't think Caleb Williams is that good.
Well, we're learning that, and it's making me happy to learn that. But they look like a complete defense. That, once again, at the end of the game, they got tired and they couldn't stop anybody. Rashawn Gary is a black hole. You can go out and find videos on Instagram and TikTok right now of him literally jogging, like during a play, like straight up, nobody touching him. He is jogging, like, and that's the effort that you're seeing from it's namely Rashawn Gary.
Zero sacks
for 2 months.
Yeah,
he's done nothing for 2 months. And I remember talking to people like, yeah, Mike is only having a good year because he's across from Rashawn Gary. And I'm like, you literally have not watched if you think that that's the case. Rashawn Gary has done nothing all year. The only reason you saw numbers in the beginning of the season was because the quarterback was running away from Micah Parsons and ran into the arms of Rashawn Gary. But I didn't see much from Edgerrin Cooper in this game. But once again, to reel you back, Sam, Jordan Love, the offense, if you can get things going, I think Halfley, he was at least able to cover up a lot of holes for 58 minutes in this game. I think he can put you in a spot where you get a chance to win if you have a superhero playing with the ball in his hands in Jordan Love. And that's the only chance that I give this team. So I'm not going to say that this is, I'm not going to indict them for this. I'm actually going to be confident that there's a good chance that you can win a playoff game because I think they might end up playing Chicago in the first round. There are a lot of scenarios where that happens. And I bet Green Bay wins it. And then you give them momentum. And that can be a building point. And now with Huntley, he might be out Huntley might be starting. Lamar Jackson might be out this weekend. Green Bay can go on and beat Baltimore. Green Bay can go on and beat Minnesota. And then there's a chance that they even win the division if Chicago loses both of their next games. Yeah, and that's going to be against Detroit and San Francisco. And then you have the 2 seed. And the NFC, I think it's wide open. I think what you learned on that Thursday night game between LA and Seattle is that both of those teams are also vulnerable on defense. You need to be able to play in a shootout, and that's where Love and the guys need to be crisp. You need to get Josh Jacobs healthy. I think you have him sit this weekend. He is so banged up where I think the pain is causing him to not even hold on to the ball much, but there is a chance. And I'm saying that more this week than I did last week because of what I saw. So I'm just trying to reel you back here because I think the NFL, it's not good. And what my name says here, everybody sucks. The Bears suck. Green Bay sucks. I think the NFC sucks, and the NFC is miles ahead of where the AFC is. You saw Denver, who's the 1 seed, get beat up by Jacksonville, who also sucks. Everybody sucks.
Jacksonville might not suck, Cody. Jacksonville might not suck. You heard it here first. You heard it here first. That's
Jacksonville sucks. No, they suck. Everybody sucks. And that's what sucks the most is the fact that everybody's banged up this year for Green Bay, because if you had a healthy roster at this point, the way that the rest of the NFL looks, you're a Super Bowl favorite. But now the playing field is so much more even than anybody thinks. And I think that's even for Chicago, which is crazy to say, but everybody's pretty close here. That there is a chance. The chance is very slim. Don't get me wrong. You've seen it before where feels like Green Bay's chances are good going in, and you got a home game against San Francisco with Aaron Rodgers playing like he's Jesus Christ himself, and you only put up 3 points in a playoff game. Things can happen. You got to get on a run. You got to get hot, and I think a lot of it starts this weekend against Baltimore. And you know what? They don't even need to win that game. You need to beat Minnesota, and that's it. You win one game, you're in the playoffs. And you get hot, you get the offense right, you get guys healthy, and there's an opportunity for the taking. So there's my little soapbox to give you guys a little bit of hope. It's fun. That's all that this is supposed to be. Don't bet on it. Don't bet on anything. There is no team that you should be betting on to win the Super Bowl right now, and that's what makes it exciting.
Hey, Drake May looks really good. Another little AFC shout. I watched that Sunday night game last night, man. Drake May is a freaking baller, Cody. I think the Patriots pulled little Packers and got their next franchise quarterback for the next 15 years. That kid's a stud.
And Vrabel's a hell of a coach. Tennessee just shot themselves not even the foot. They blew their brains out by letting Vrabel walk. That's what happened there.
You know who else sucks? Doc Rivers, dude. Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
Really, really bad coach. He's got to go. He's another one that I'm just screaming accountability from the rafters for. This Bucs team is 11-19 right now. We are in 11th place. We're a game and a half ahead of the Charlotte freaking Hornets. We're like 30 games into the season, Cody, and we're already 11 and a half games back in the division behind Detroit. It's too early in the season to be 11 and a half freaking games back in your own division. Brian Rollins last night, I think with about 7 minutes left in the 4.5 minutes left in the third quarter, he was at 7 minutes played. His minutes have been cut aggressively since Kevin Porter Jr. has been playing again. KPJ's got 40 minutes just last night. Ryan Rollins got 21. He still has the highest deflections in the NBA at 5.2 per game. He's leading us for everybody that's played 20 games or more. He's leading us in points and assists. Ryan Rollins was on an all-time trajectory, and then Doc Rivers just slices his minutes, puts him on the bench, and now he's our eighth man again. And I had this thought, and then I had this thought last night, and then the guys at Eurostep, I was listening to their podcast, he had the same exact take. A Giannis trade, I think it would be malpractice. I've been, you know exactly where I stand on the Giannis trade. I think it'd be malpractice and incredibly sad and heartbreaking for the city of Milwaukee. I think I'd be more gutted by trading Ryan Rollins for something. Us forgetting about Ryan Rollins because that would just show like the Giannis thing. You could say your hand is forced a little bit. Ryan Rollins, it just shows incompetence, Cody. He took over Milwaukee. We were talking about Ryan Rollins was this he went two-way to dropping 30 balls in back-to-back games. We had our own little Jeremy Lin, and then it's just Kevin Porter Jr., who is also playing fantastic, and it gives us a lot of hope for these two-guard lineups. But we're not doing it. Like Doc isn't playing him. He's playing almost the same amount of minutes as Gary Harris. It's really, really frustrating. So seeing us give up on Ryan Rollins, or if we try to trade him or something, it I was so high on Ryan Rollins, and seeing Jericho Sims get more minutes than him, seeing Kyle Kuzma, dominate in minutes, and I get some of it is positional, but it's just freaking heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So that's my Ryan Rollins take, and I do want to give a little bit of a silver lining for this Bucks team right now. There's a way that we can almost like thread the needle of the rebuild here. So our first round pick for 2026 is the worst of the Bucks and Pelicans between the two of those teams. So initially before the season, it's like, oh, well, that's going to be, the Bucks pick and it's going to be, 20s or whatever. If the Bucks are bad this year and Giannis stays because he's a loyal guy, because that's all he's ever said, even if he's the hottest chick in the game right now, I think Giannis is just freaking being goofy. I love it. Not too much to overthink about there. We'll get a lottery pick this year, and that would be our first lottery pick since Thon Maker.
Hey, Kevin Garnett said he's next MVP. He's coming up.
We haven't had a chance at actually getting young talent since Thon Maker, since Jabari Parker and Thon Maker were rolling around. So if the Bucks are bad this year, and Giannis is only 30, and we do have Rollins, KPJ, and Miles Turner, and Doc gets fired yesterday. Doc does need 100%. He doesn't give a dang about this team. He doesn't care. It's malpractice up and down. He has a good three-point shooting team that doesn't like to shoot. He has a stretch center that he doesn't like to stretch. He is 11th man in Jericho Sims that he's starting right now. And an all-time ascension from a young player that he's potentially ruining his career. So my Zoom name today is Karma. I want Pat Murphy to coach the Packers and the Bucks, please. That'd be awesome.
Okay.
we can't
Pat Murphy special teams for the Packers. I'm in on that legitimately. Like I think that could happen. Yeah, and if they do fire Doc Rivers, what does your payroll coach look like? Because I know that there was a point where if they would have fired him last year, you would have been paying how many coaches? Like who's still on the books right now?
So I think he's on the books until the end of next season as well.
Okay.
So that would be his deal. But I mean, this is absolutely malpractice what's going on, Cody. It's insulting. It's embarrassing. They asked him, I sent you a picture of his quote about the minutes and the effort. They're like, yeah, Doc, what about effort? He's like, oh, you just can't control that. You look, there's 15 guys out there. So it's hard for me to balance all that. Oh, got trouble coaching 15 guys, Doc? Maybe don't be a head coach in the freaking NBA. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Oh, you just got to bring the ball up and execute the offense. Doc, you're not answering questions. It's just dark times in Milwaukee basketball. But once Giannis comes back, I think we're a game and a half out of the play-in. We're the 11 seed right now. The play-in takes the top 10. Give Giannis a chance in the playoffs and let's go on a little bit of a roll. Or be really bad and take the Pelicans pick, and I don't really know. Giannis ain't going there. Let's get to the grader.
Yeah. We've had a couple dark weeks here on the cheese, but Sam's gonna get our hopes higher here. He's got another game for me today. He's gonna Are You Smarter Than a Cody is what we're gonna play today.
Are you
Sammy,
smarter than Cody?
Yeah. Am I smarter?
This is fun. So this is a little bit of a we'll call it pinpoint
Hmm.
So I'm going to tell you someone in a Wisconsin sports all-time rankings. You're going to get five guesses, and you'll try to tell me exactly who the Brewers' 30th all-time home run hitter is.
Oh
You
boy.
get five strikes,
So
and
we got to get numbers here.
I picked a certain numbers because these are guys you'll know these names. I'm not bringing out um, you know. Larry Hisley on you or anything like that.
Okay, that's good. I think it'd be Larry Heil, just to show you how popular of a player he is. I'll first guess. We'll go. I'll go Eric Thames.
Tony!
Was that it?
Eric Thames. I told
You're
you to give us a
kidding.
little bit of time for this creator. We can't be ripping him right off the rip like that. Eric Thames is the Brewers' number 30 all-time home run
That's
leader.
funny. I mean, just wasn't there too long, but he hit about 25 home runs a year for a couple of years. What is he at, like 60 something home runs? Or is it even more than that?
72.
72? Yeah, that's good for about 30th for a franchise that started in 1969. Shout out Seattle Pilots.
That's incredible. All right. Next one. It's going to take a little longer on this one. I hope. Maybe,
Okay.
or you're going to nail it right off the rip. Going to the mound. Brewers' 20th all-time in pitching wins.
Pitching wins 20th. So you got to have a couple seasons. I mean, there's nobody who's been there for all that long. Like, Freddie Peralta's got to be up there. Like Teddy Higuera, Ben Sheets is probably high. But then you have the guys who are only there for like 1 or 2 years. Like your Sean Markham is not going to be in discussion. Zach Greinke isn't going to be 20th. You got to. I'm going to stay more of that middling 2010s team, like 2016. We'll say Zach Davies because he was there for a little bit, but not a lot of bit.
We're looking for the 20th spot. You got number
Yeah.
24. Zach Davies has 43 wins for the Brewers.
So you need a little bit more. So you're looking for a guy who did it for about 4 or 5 years
And that's strike one.
and was okay. Just for the fact that, I don't know, that era of Brewers pitching, you just didn't have anybody stick around that long. See, Corbin Burns wouldn't be a stupid answer here because he never really blew it out of the water with wins. I'm going to go with Corbin Burns.
Corbin Burns is 21st all time on Brewers wins. And just for a fun shout, I'm going to give you a name here. He is tied with Chris Capuano at 45 wins.
Wow.
Somebody has
Yeah.
one more win. You have two
So at
strikes.
46 wins. See, and Woodruff has been so banged up, you would want to say him because you don't have pitchers that are going out and winning 20 games a year in Milwaukee. You remember Willie Peralta had 17 wins in a year? That happened. Yep. But he didn't have enough wins other seasons to be in conversation here. So 46 wins for Milwaukee. I'll go Brandon Woodruff.
Brandon Woodruff is 15th all time with 53 wins. You have three strikes.
We're staying in this era. I mean, I'm not great with. I mean, I have no idea on other eras. We'll go back to that 2011 team. Like I said, Greinke's not in contention. Giovanni won. You would think that he won more than that.
A whole lot of games.
Yeah.
He's our number 5.
Sean Markham. No, it can't be Sean Markham. It's not going to be Chris Narveson. Randy Wolf was there for a little bit, not a lot of bit. Now I can play Sam's face here. It wasn't Greinke. No, because he was away in 2013. Yeah,
Greinke only had 25.
yeah, he's not there. You can take a half
I'm gonna
guess
give you
on that.
I'm gonna give you 45 seconds on this just so we can get to the next one as well.
Okay,
You got two more strikes.
2011, I saw you nod your head yes. You know what? Let's go Ben Sheets.
Ben Sheets is our number 6 all time in wins, 86.
Okay, one.
One more
Do I have
strike.
another strike? One more.
Last one.
Yo was way too much. You know what? Sean Markham.
Sean Markham I'm not seeing him on
Yeah, he wasn't
here.
there that long.
You gave Willie Peralta a shout. Willie Peralta had 47 wins.
Okay,
The name we're
that's
looking for is
crazy.
20th all time is Dave Bush.
Yeah, would not have gotten that. Not
Carried a
even on the
perfect into
radar.
the seventh once. I was watching that game live. I was a young lad. He carried a perfect game into the seventh.
Wow, would not have expected that.
All right. Last pinpoint. You liking this game so far?
Yeah, this is good.
Give me the Packers number 20 all-time receiving leader.
Hmm. James Jones will be my first guess.
James Jones is an awesome guess. He is number 14th all time with 5,100.
He's there a while. 5,100. So now you're looking for more your 3 or 4 decent seasons. See, because you can't see Jordy got hurt, but he had some crazy years. Devontae's way ahead of that. Greg Jennings was not there that long. I'll go Greg Jennings.
Is our number 9 all time
Really?
receiver with 6,500.
Okay. Randall Cobb had 1 year with 1,200 yards, and that was his most. But he was there for a while. I'm gonna go Randall Cobb.
You're sitting really high here, 6,300. I need you to drop down in a lot of yards. Randall Cobb is 11th.
uh, so under that, now I'm losing it out. Driver's way up there. Javon Walker, I'm not sure. See, a lot of the Favre receivers, I'm not great with.
So I
Can you
like
give
where
me
you're
the
at. So
quarterback? Was it Favre?
it's Favre.
Um, Freeman?
8th all time.
Yeah, I was gonna say way too high.
Let me give you some perspective. Romeo Dobbs is 26th all time. So I need you a lot closer to Romeo and a lot further from Freeman Jennings Cobb.
Yeah, I think you're gonna get me on this one here, Sam. I want to think
It's
Super
not just
Bowl.
wide receivers that be catching the ball.
That is true.
Two
Is
guesses.
no, it's not Amon Green. He was more of just your running back, running back.
But he was, yeah, was in there.
Okay, Amon Green.
Oh, I got it again. 2 for 3.
Okay.
Amon Green
Yeah,
sits right behind Jermichael Finley on our all-time receiving list
that's crazy.
at
Jermichael
27.
wasn't even there that long either, and that's so crazy to think of. How many yards did Jermichael have?
They're both at 2785 and 2726. So right about
Yeah,
2,700.
dude. We're talking about Tucker Kraft, but Jermichael Finley, man, when you saw that guy in open space, and he was big and he could block, and yeah, one of the biggest what ifs, I think, in Wisconsin sports history altogether. But that was fun. So our cheese grater today was Pinpoint from Sam. He's coming up with good ones. Keep them up, Sam. I love them. I think they're good. So thank you for that.
Eric
Thank you guys
Baines.
for listening. Yeah, I like games. I mean, we can have fun with these games a lot more than we're having with either the Bucks or the Packers the last couple weeks. So we appreciate that. And we'll see you next week after hopefully a Packers victory against Baltimore on another edition of A Little Bit of Cheese, your bite-sized Wisconsin sports podcast.